So today, I'm not sure. Well, no, we were just talking about it a second ago. So you did see Trump got rushed away to an emergency dental appointment.
Yeah. So, first off, I've never been rushed away to an emergency dental appointment.
Can't
I
say
didn't
that I
know
have
that.
either.
Like, I know that dental emergencies can happen. I have a fucked up tooth right now that I need to get taken care of, and it hurts at times. And I've never thought I gotta go to Jupiter to see my local dentist. It's that time. Let me be whisked away for it. It doesn't even fucking make sense.
Right.
Um. So, what are we thinking is happening?
I've got my fingers crossed for a stroke. I mean, I think it's probably a stroke. I hope it's not. I wish him well and hope
Has
he
he
lives to be 120.
has he tweeted or X'd or whatever the fuck they do over on Truth Social? What Truth? Has he been on his socials at all today?
You
Like
know, I don't
since
know. I haven't looked. I
when
mean,
was he when was he taken?
it was earlier to well, I'm on the West Coast, so everything was earlier today, but, I think it was earlier this morning. I could be wrong about that. I'd have to double check about when he was taken, but the point is nothing was on his schedule yesterday regarding an appointment today. Nothing was on his schedule for today about an appointment. Nothing had to do anything with dental, and, that's very obviously a lie.
Oh, 100%. So this looks like it happened yesterday. He was taken to
Did
the
it?
dentist. Yeah. I mean, that's according to the Mirror, which I don't know how reputable the UK is, I guess. For sources, yeah, everything's looking like it was yesterday. So that's, I don't know. I don't think Trump has anything to interrupt around at all. He
Yeah.
clearly doesn't give a fuck about the war in Iran because he's still golfing. So I'm hoping it's
Yep.
something more than a dental appointment. Um, I've told you about the guy the physical therapist that I follow who talks about geriatric patients. He's saying that it could be he was given like IV diuretics to get fluid from his heart because he
Oh,
does have that issue going on with the fluid building up around his heart.
yeah.
So we're at the end. Hopefully, maybe Cinco de Mayo is going to be like a really bitchin' time.
Yep. And we'll see what happens with that because I guarantee we're not going to hear anything of it. Then one
No,
day it's going to be like Weekend at Bernie's, where they're propping him up and pretending he's not dead.
half the cabinet meetings look like that, anyways. I
Oh,
mean,
that's true.
he's always got everyone like hovered around him,
He
and
has stopped doing any kind of standing ever.
oh no,
Like everything that he does on camera is now behind a desk
right, he's
or
doing
in
the
some
FDR.
way hidden. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Hmm.
the notion of him standing for any length of time, I think, is gone.
Yeah,
I would love to have seen the correspondence dinner, uh, because he was going to give a speech and it was supposed to be shots fired. Um,
right. Yeah, quote unquote. Mhm.
but he's going to hold on to that podium for dear life because otherwise he's going down.
Sure.
He couldn't stand up and step away from the table
Yeah,
without falling.
he couldn't get behind the curtain without falling down
Now,
with
did you
people holding him.
did you see that there was a picture of after he was taken away by Secret Service? He's still off stage behind the curtain watching his stuff's going down.
Yes. Yep, I
So
did see that.
you're telling me that this was an actual assassination attempt where the president is allowed to stand off stage behind what, a fucking bulletproof Kevlar curtain
Yes,
as this
at
situation is
the
going down?
hotel. Yes.
And then right, and then there was other footage of this of there was where the guy came out of. They were fixing one of the metal detectors, but
Right.
there's a cop with a canine looking into the hallway where this guy's coming from,
Mhm.
and you could see that he's talking to someone.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop to think I've got a fucking dog here and there's a guy with a long gun running my way. Lets him
Yep.
just go past. There's nothing here that's adding up.
I know way too many canine handlers to really buy that.
Of course,
There's
because it
there's nothing they want more than to yell "dog off leash." That's what
thousand
they live
percent.
for.
There's nothing more that the dog wants than to
There's
hear a
nothing more
fucking
the
dog
dog
off
wants,
leash.
yes.
You
The
think that
dog
the
lives
dog's
for
gonna sit
that.
there and see someone running at him and just be like totally calm? Fuck no. I've been
Right.
attacked by those dogs in training. They don't wait for
Yep.
anything.
Yeah.
They see you running, and what do? They perk up and then they're ready to
They
go.
perk up because they know they're about to get that treat.
The big fucking meaty treat
Yep,
at the end of the arm. 1000%.
right.
There's nothing. Again, and we've talked about this before. We're not conspiracy theorists. But this one
Yeah.
is a little bit too obvious to even to try to start denying stuff.
It is. It is.
And
And you know it's fishy because Alex Jones is going, nah, that's not a false flag. Nah, this one's real.
you do that impression far too.
I'm from Texas. Well, we all sound like that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
It's that and Dale Gribble.
Oh, he's the perfect, right?
It really is.
Dale was always my favorite. But going back to this whole thing, like I'm not gonna sit here and say that the first one. I even think Butler is probably there's too much for Butler, Pennsylvania. That wasn't some sort of setup. I mean,
The thing is, so I haven't seen enough to believe that it's a conspiracy, to believe either of them are conspiracies. The problem
Right.
that I have is that I can't put it past them. If anybody would do this, it's the most staged
Right.
Hollywood president that we've ever
And
had.
so
Everything is for the cameras. Everything
Right.
is for the cameras,
and
it just looks bogus.
that's where the Butler one is the same thing though, because like you see their staffers
Yeah.
herding journalists around the stage as this is happening, and again, there's so much shit that you have to go through and try to corroborate because everything looks so real anymore. But
Right.
there's the image of like the American flag being lowered in the background a little bit.
Yep.
Like the camera doesn't pan up when this happens. This camera's standing, stationary, facing the one direction. But then you see an American flag drop a little bit into the frame as he's doing the fight. I mean, it's just too perfect, right? But everything he does is for a camera. Nothing he does is for any other reason than ratings, or what he perceives as ratings, or what he thinks can boost his ratings. So that's why Butler is like, yes, there was somebody who was killed. I don't want to say that they would do a stunt for that, but I wouldn't put it past them.
That's the problem.
That's the sad part.
Yeah,
right there.
That's the problem that I have, at least, because I wouldn't put it past him. Maybe that's a me problem. It could be.
I don't think it is.
I can't put it past him.
It's he's shown for years and years that he doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself.
Right.
So it wouldn't put it wouldn't in my mind at all. Like if they were like, well, we could do this, but somebody might die. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's
a risk I am willing to take.
I don't even think you would see it as a risk. He'd be like, oh well, that's the price of doing business. That's how he would look at it. Not even a risk of doing business. That's the price you pay.
That's the cost of it. Sure.
You have to kill people to become president. That it is what it is. And he's just such a schmuck when it comes to that sort of thing.
Sure.
So,
and the fact that nothing he ever says is just a joke. There's never a time where he's just kidding. He's just trolling. He's just pushing the envelope a little bit. Every single thing that he does, that he says at least, that is a little bit beyond anything that really a sane person should do. Every single one of those times, he's not joking. He's dipping his toe in the water and seeing what their reaction to it will be. Every single time. And that includes, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and not lose any voters.
Right. And the funny part is that anytime he says anything like that, he's saying it completely straight, right?
It's always straight-faced.
He means it. But whenever it's brought up in any sort of debate with anybody on the MAGA side, well, Trump's just joking.
Right. Yep.
Well, he's literally saying that a person in that position, whether you're a presidential candidate, president, it doesn't matter. You can't say that in a joking way, because everyone's going to understand that it's not a joke. It's just not. You don't joke with that sort of thing. Like he does. He jokes constantly. He's just a dickhead. That's my
right.
Is he's not joking. He's a prick.
Yeah.
He's an old, miserable prick that
miserable, narcissistic prick. All he has ever cared about is himself. There's not a family member, even Ivanka, that he cares about.
Not even Barron.
Definitely not Barron.
No,
it's only
Barron's
himself
like the poster child
and enriching himself. That's it.
1,000%. The only reason he'd care about Ivanka is if
We
he
all
could
know
get
exactly why he cares about Ivanka. That's
1,000%.
disgusting. Like, he
Yes,
has
it
said it
is.
publicly. We know exactly why he likes
He has said
Ivanka.
it publicly, not just once. He said it
Yeah,
publicly
multiple times.
dozens of times. He said it in magazines where he's like, man, she's got an ass on her.
That whole clip with what's his name, Howard Stern.
God.
That whole little interview where Howard Stern's like, "Oh yeah, she's a piece of ass."
And
Like,
listen, Howard has always been like the dirty old man, right?
right,
That's
and
what
that's
he
his
did.
shtick. That's his whole bit.
Right.
Is
And
saying the disgusting thing. The problem is the president of the United States is yes-anding Howard Stern.
the president saying, hold my Diet Coke, I'm gonna get even
Right.
worse, Howard. I don't need you to prompt me with this. You want to talk
Yeah.
about tents? Look at my daughter.
Yep.
She's got a set. And hey,
Yeah.
granted, Ivanka's not a bad looking woman. But I don't care how good looking my daughter is. I'm never gonna say that. That is fucking weird to say. Just it plain and simple is. And
Yeah.
but it's a
Yeah,
joke.
there's not a scenario where that sentence is acceptable. I mean, I guess unless saying, you know, something I would never say, this
Right.
sentence.
The one thing I would
That's
never
about
say
it.
is I'd be dating my daughter if she wasn't my daughter.
Or walking into a kindergarten class and saying, oh, you know, I'm going to be dating you in 10 years.
And
Because we all know he wouldn't wait 10 years.
no, that's way
He's
too
not going to wait.
No. No.
Mm.
That's a great segue into fucking into Epstein here. I still go back and
Yeah.
I'm still seeing the clips from his 60 Minutes presser after the last assassination attempt. The journalist is reading excerpts from the manifesto. Trump goes, "I'm not a pedophile." Her response was so perfect. Oh, you think he's talking about you?
You think he's talking about you.
It never once said Trump. It never once said the Trump administration. But boy, he projected that in a heartbeat. I didn't rape anybody.
Well, if the clown
Okay.
shoe fits.
Well, if the clown shoe's fitting, Marco Rubio is apparently wearing it. I'm just saying. But fucking, it's everything. It's still obviously about shying away from that, right? Everything is still about getting the pressure off of Epstein. They're gonna continue to go down that road of denial. You've seen it with Melania and her unprompted, unscripted fucking press conference saying that she had nothing to do with anything. Like, I'm sorry, that's a very weird thing to have happen.
And that coincidentally was right before her old best friend comes out and says, oh, she 100% was involved.
Right. But again, the first lady doesn't do anything without the president's staff knowing.
Of course.
Like,
you think he didn't know that? Yeah.
Right. Well, he didn't know it. Like, they didn't know anything.
I'm saying
she just went rogue and was like, "We're holding this."
Let me roll that back. He didn't know she was going to go out and say it. I'm saying he
Right.
knew that she was 100% involved.
Right. And that she's going to, at this point, do whatever she can to separate herself as much as possible because she fucking hates that man.
That's very, very obvious.
Even this week when King Charles came and they were like the state dinner, he's holding her hand and she's just like, "Get the fuck off me."
Slapping it away.
Seriously. I've never had that happen to me before with somebody that's supposed to love me.
Meanwhile, you know, he's thinking, what are you doing? It's in your contract to hold my hand.
He's thinking, what are you doing? I can't walk these steps without holding your hand.
Yeah, that too.
That was an obstacle in and of itself, is just the forward motion without stability.
Sure.
And she doesn't give a fuck. Let him fall. You can just see, I mean, I would be surprised if one day she doesn't kick him down the stairs from Air Force One.
She does have a certain glow about her.
The glow of impending doom.
Of an expectant widow. I believe is the words.
Yes. Jimmy Kimmel. God.
Yeah.
So,
and then they tried to get him kicked off the air again. Like, they're just playing all the hits. Pretty soon we're going to be building a wall that Mexico's going to pay for. Like, they're just doing all the classics.
Is Aren't they still just fucking pole vaulting the sections that they have up anyways?
Pretty much.
They saw that the fucking here's the thing is you built a wall and the first thing they did was climb over it. Like it doesn't matter what
Well,
you're gonna do
yeah,
with
it's a
that. They're
wall.
right. And it doesn't matter what they do to it to make it unclimbable. These are crafty individuals who want to hop the border. They're gonna
There
hop the
was
fucking border.
there was a bit, and I feel like it was on like Penn and Teller or something like that, years ago, 20
Oh yeah.
plus years ago, where they hired a bunch of guys to build a section of desert wall, and then get over it, get over it, get around it, and I think it took them something like 20 odd hours to build it, something like that, and then it was like 45 seconds to get through it.
Yeah. I mean, they were
It's
probably
it's
jumping
an
over the wall
obstacle. All you
while
got
they're
to do
putting
is
it
get
up.
over it. Yeah.
And then, well,
Or under it. There's tunnels. But then there's the fact that the vast majority of people just overstayed a visa. It's not like they're anyway,
wait, they're not. Wait, they're not flooding into the country. They're not.
Well, yeah, no, they're not.
Huh.
That's
But what
it's
about all those
caravans.
caravans that just
Yeah,
happen to happen around midterm elections?
those only happen as elections are coming up. As soon as November passes, they disappear.
It's too cold for the Mexicans to try to cross at that time.
Apparently.
But
I guess so.
it is every Republican cycle that midterm cycle rather that the Republicans
Yep.
are destined to lose.
And that just goes back to playing all the classics. They've got
You know
a few things that rally up a racist base that they know hits. They know there's a few arguments that play really well in Texas, and they do them.
When you think about it, though, all this ICE detaining brown people across the country, it's like just a big casting call for the next caravan, right?
Of course.
You have to think when we get into like October, they're gonna release all those fucking people just on the other side of the border. If you're like, oh my god, the caravan's coming.
Yeah,
We need
right.
ice. We need ice to round them up again.
Nice. You need nice
Ah, yes, nice. They're the nice
to rally
angels.
them up.
What
Yes.
was the N? The National Immigration Is that what the N is?
It
National.
doesn't matter. There was never anything put through Congress to change the name. It's like the Secretary of War. Like that
Right.
that only exists because you nailed it to your wall. Like that's not a thing.
And it just cost us like $500 million to make the change.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
that's what, 2-3 Kid Rock helicopter rides. It's a drop in the bucket.
Did you see that Kid Rock has a promo now with Secretary Hegseth for his upcoming tour?
Really? No, I hadn't seen
Yes,
this.
yes, there is it might as well be fucking stamped with the seal of approval from the DoD. It is Hegseth talking about the 250th anniversary of the U.S. and Kid Rock's nationwide tour that they're already giving away free tickets to. The Fat Ticket Foundation's giving them away, and I'm thinking to myself, a free ticket with a $14 service fee is still too fucking much to go see that trailer trash.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's a tweaker's paradise here in Syracuse. I'm not gonna lie.
I have to admit, I have seen Kid Rock live. I have.
Okay,
I
but
did
did
not.
you see?
I can't say that I went to a Kid Rock concert. I went to a Metallica concert
Okay,
that Kid Rock happened to be opening for.
so
It
you
was,
went to
it
a
was
rock show that somehow Kid Rock got
right.
part of
It
before
was
he went.
it was
fucking-
Korn, Kid Rock,
Okay.
System of a Down. I want to say Power Man 5000 was on. It was back in like 2000 or something like that.
So this was when Kid Rock was still Kid Rock and not Kid Country.
Right? Yeah.
Okay,
He was
so-
Kid Rock, not Bob Ritchie.
I'll give you a pass on that one. Okay, like that I get. Like 20 years ago, before he went nuts and shot up fucking Bud Light cans for being
Yep.
gay, trans, or whatever. Okay, he had that one good song. He's like Pitbull. Everyone knows that one Kid Rock song,
Right.
and it just gets replayed over and over again everywhere. So
Mhm.
okay, that's fine. But I did see it. They're giving away tickets to that Ticket Foundation, free tickets for Kid Rock, and I was like, no, I'm good. I'm not.
Yeah.
First off, I'm not giving that money to Ticketmaster. Um,
Right.
the only reason I would do that would be to buy as many tickets as I could, just to not show up. Like
That would be
band
pretty
together,
fun.
all the veterans, everyone
Get
your six
a bunch of vets
tickets.
together and just be like,
It's-
grab up all the tickets and then not go.
$14 for 6 tickets is your fee that you have to pay through Ticketmaster. that would be a worthy cause because then we just we can shoot the tickets with paintball guns or something in a
Sure.
video.
Mhm.
These goddamn Kid Rock tickets, you know. But that would be the only
I
reason to do it is if you can get enough people to be like, let's all get our free tickets, and then we just don't go.
Every time Kid Rock gets brought back into the news and I guess like the public zeitgeist, I flash back to Cartman um, learning how to be a race car driver and
Oh,
in probably the most offensive way imaginable, and he learns how to act like that by watching Kid Rock videos.
no better no better person to emulate for that
That's true.
particular demographic of individual. Uh, the only thing Cartman didn't have going for him was the tall, skinny portion of it, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not going to look like a good tweaker unless I start tweaking. I'd have to be on meth forever
Oh,
to have that appear.
that's a weird little artifact.
Yeah, it does not like it.
No, doesn't like that can at all.
Um, yeah, fucking Kid Rock, man. I can't stand. How did he become the face of anything?
I don't know.
Like, other than that, he licked Trump's balls that one time,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden, like, he shows up in his star spangled fucking suit in the middle of the Oval Office, and MAGA loves it because they
And
see,
it's nothing new. He did the same thing where he came out and endorsed Romney before the what was that, the 2012 election,
yeah, something like that.
and he talked to Mitt Romney, and Mitt Romney told him he was gonna bring jobs back to Detroit. And
Imagine that conversation. I'm sorry, Mitt Romney was driving a popcorn fart,
yep,
and then you had Kid Rock there. I mean, like
Mitt
at
Romney,
least
Mormon Mitt Romney,
right,
hanging out with Kid Rock.
right. It just that I don't see that conversation going very well. I can
No.
see the conversation going well with Trump because again, if you just give him that little tickle, everything's great. Everyone's,
Yep.
you're a great person. But Mitt Romney is too educated. And as much as I didn't like Mitt Romney, I would kill for a Mitt Romney candidate at this point. Just would love it. Love to see that sort of candidate brought back into the political grind.
It'll
Instead of
never
the
happen.
crazy. No, it won't.
Mm-mm.
You don't think it'll ever happen? You don't think that at some
Well,
point, you know,
let me take that back. I don't want to say ever, but there's going to be a lot of work that has to be done. There's probably,
agreed.
I feel like, going to be another party alignment shift. I feel like the Democratic Party right now is going through its own Tea Party movement. There's a lot on the left, and you can see it with the kind of centrist, like APAC demographic of the Democratic Party. Somehow, all at once, kind of the same way that all the conservative talking heads after the press correspondence dinner decided that Princess needed her ballroom more than anything. In that same way that it was very clearly a disseminated talking point, everybody in the center left, the APAC kind of side of the party, all of them went after Hassan Piker. Like to the point where Hassan is a guy that you really only know if you're kind of on the terminally online left, somebody like me. Like, I know who Hassan Piker is because I watch Hassan Piker.
Right.
And nobody else really does. Like, he's not a super relevant guy until you Barbara Streisand effect his name, which is what they did.
Right.
And because of that, I feel like there's going to be, or because of things like that, I feel like there's going to be another party realignment where there's going to be some centrist folks, there's going to be leftists, and there's going to be whatever is remaining of the MAGA Republican Party. Whether that breaks into three parties or
that was going to be my
it
next
just
question.
kind of splits in a different way, I don't know, but I don't feel like we're going to be looking at the same like body politic that
No,
we have in the past.
I think that the shift away from the two-party system is probably the most likely to happen now than it's ever been.
Yeah.
We've always had those third-party candidates that have tried to make the run. You got Bernie, you had fucking Ross Perot back in the day. You had these characters, right?
Hmm.
But I think you're right because someone like you have the rhinos on the right that they don't like the Trump shit, and it's
Right.
obvious. but they're playing the game because they don't want to lose their seat.
Hmm.
And then you have the fucking idiots on the left, like Fetterman,
Yeah.
who's
Yep.
obviously swinging that way. I think you'll see those APAC Dems all stay in the center, and then you'll see the Mamdani Dems
Yes.
separate off
Yep.
and be a true socialist democratic party. Then you'll still have whatever the fuck is going on with MAGA once he's gone, because
Yeah.
I
And
don't think
that's
that that's going to
breaking up.
disintegrate. I don't.
It's not going to disintegrate. It's breaking up. There's already a sort of power vacuum right now,
Mhm.
and the guy at the top of the food chain is still alive.
Right.
Like it once
For now.
that's not the case anymore, then it's not going to break apart, but
No.
you're going to have splinter groups, and maybe those splinter groups work together, maybe they work against each other. I honestly don't know how that'll play out because they are vicious against each other. But maybe it's just being vicious against each other until somebody becomes the clear winner, and then they rally behind that. Maybe that person is Tucker Carlson. I don't know, but I don't feel like the what are they called, the Lincoln Project types um will ever fall in line with a Tucker Carlson.
No.
You know,
They won't.
I just don't see them being the same party.
And I think you're right there, and I think that you're right that the centrist Republicans, centrist Democrats are all going to just kind of understand that they're in the middle and that they should align together. That
Mm,
there's more that they agree upon than what they disagree on, which is what we're missing in politics, anyways. At this point,
right.
the days of McCain and Obama cordially having the conversation of the, back and forth at the correspondence dinner, razzing on each other, those days are gone. But those were days when you had politicians respect each side of the aisle, understand
Hmm.
that it's not an all or nothing sort of thing, and that in order to move the country forward to whatever their vision of what a better country is. And I think every president has, and every presidential candidate has that vision, except for Trump.
Yeah.
He's
Yep.
the only one that's never had a clear cut, any sort of decisive he,
The-
vision for the country. It's been nothing but sound bites. No
yeah.
new wars, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. He's the soundbite president. It's all
Yep.
he's ever been. He still doesn't have a health care plan, but he knows that he has to replace Obamacare because it's fucking terrible.
Because it's got Obama's name on it. Yeah.
Right. And it
Now,
only
look,
has
I've
Obama's
got
name on it because they've wanted to fucking demonize it.
yeah, because they call yeah,
Because
exactly. They're the
and if you
ones who called it Obamacare.
And if you
Yeah,
argue and you debate with a fucking person on the right and they talk
it's
about their health care and they talk, I got Obamacare. We need something like the Affordable Care Act. You dumb fuck.
there's that and the fact that it was just basically cut and pasted Romney Care out of Massachusetts. Like this whole system is not anything, it's not a good system.
No.
It's based entirely off of what Mitt Romney did in Massachusetts. Like
And
if anything, it's a not even a half step, it's a quarter step in the right direction. And they can't even have that because it's got Obama's name on it. And it
right.
really doesn't even have Obama's name on it,
No,
but
it
it
has
looks like it does, so it has to go.
American on it as
Yeah.
the Affordable Care Act. How do you how can we make this sound so terrible?
Yep.
Affordability. It's a Democratic hoax.
Democratic hoax.
It,
Absolutely. It's not a real word. It's like groceries. Just made it up a week ago.
Stop talking about groceries, gas prices, and anything that affects your wallet.
Yeah,
Everything's up. The stock market's up, damn it. We hit a new high last week as we're
that's
pounding the
right.
shit out
That's
of
right.
somebody. Uh, but
Like
the Mitt Romney's plan works for a small state like Massachusetts. It's not going to
Mhm.
work nationwide. It's just not. But the thing is that I'm dealing with healthcare, the health insurance company now, since I'm on my employer's plan for my kids. I still get the VA side, so I don't have to pay for anything for me. But the kids, every
Yeah.
fucking time they go to the doctor, it's $40. It's like this is,
Yep.
and then it's like all your medications on top of it, and then I get the bills for everything. And Josh had to go, son had to go to the ER, uh, about a month or two ago. Uh, Everything's fine, but he went to an urgent care, had to pay out of pocket for that to start.
Mhm.
Then they're like, "Nah, you got to go to the ER because he needs an ultrasound. We can't do that." Okay. So then my ex takes him there, and just walking through the door, it was $450.
Yep.
Just walking through the door. And then I get the bill and it's like $9,000 for imaging. Okay. $3,000 for imaging. All you had was an ultrasound. So why is there two? So that's 12 grand for imaging for a machine that's been paid off 1,000 times over at this point.
Right.
And then they had like lab fees. He didn't have blood drawn, but I had lab fees. Again, why? When you dig
Why?
into it, everybody that, the insurance company, the doctors, it's all owned by the same company
Mhm.
or the same two or three companies. And we've allowed that to happen in this nation.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
the insurance companies are the ones that cover all the prescriptions and they own all that. And the prescription, whether it's the deal companies that are out there, they own all that. And then they own all the people making the middleman decisions. And then they own the doctors, the companies that hire the doctors.
That's
Well,
right.
you don't have any chance in a system like that. They're all going to take their cut. They're all taking more and more, and it all ends up being paid out to the insurance company. But along the way, there's 100 different people that have their hand out.
That
Just
everybody dips their hand in. Absolutely. And that's
so,
the biggest problem with Obamacare to begin with. I mean, we've got the famous hope poster behind us, but like I'm not a super big fan of the guy. Like never really have been. But compared to where we're at today, I think there's a very clear night and day difference.
mhm,
And I think that night and day difference happened in 2016.
yeah.
Like
And as
that's
much as
and I don't think there's any going back to 2015.
no, there's I don't think there is either. And as much as Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act is a mess, and it is, our system in general is a mess. And until we get the for-profit institutions out of medical care, they shouldn't be there anyways. I think
Right.
everybody can agree that the institution of a hospitals, the sole purpose should be to take care of people and not bankrupt them. Like that, it's such a capitalistic view that we're just the money people, and whether we
Yeah, I
live or
mean, it's the
die, it doesn't
definition of a
matter.
conflict of interest.
Right.
Like
Um.
if you make money by having people come in and charging them for coming in, you're going to want them to come in more. Like
Yeah.
that's how that works. That's
Right.
just how you make money doing stuff.
So
That's
then you
just
open a McDonald's
capitalism.
right outside of you open a McDonald's right outside the hospital, or
Yeah, right.
you have the fast food inside the hospital, just ready
Yep.
to go. Whether our local children's hospital has it, it might not be there anymore, but it was. They had a Tim Hortons right up there. Like, okay, I get it. Coffee's great for a parent that's waiting for their kid in the hospital, but it's not just the coffee, right? Like the coffee
Right.
cart's one thing, but it's the thousands of pastries that they have, the donuts, the fucking, the everything that makes people like this beautiful American body I got going on here.
Hey, you're not the only one.
And hey, I know that that's a personal thing. I get that, but we're not doing ourselves any favors by setting up a
Sure.
bunch of fucking fast food right outside the ER.
Mhm.
It's like you got your cancer center, your heart center, and then your grease factory all in a
Right.
row, and you're just wheeling from one building to the next. You might as well just set up a conveyor belt. It's terrible. Um, but it was better. The sad part was the Affordable Care Act was better than what we had,
Yeah,
and I want
definitely.
somebody to come out with something better. And we're going to keep saying it till we're blue in the face that if it whatever the government employees are on is what the American people should have.
Exactly. Yeah, whatever the Senate has, we should have.
Right.
And it's
Put
simple as that.
put put the House and the Senate
Yep.
on, you know, Obamacare, having to buy through the patient portal. Have them
Buy it
have to
through
do that
exactly.
for
Yep.
the marketplace for a fucking year. Let them for a year.
Mhm.
You got Mitch McConnell there.
While making minimum wage.
Yes. Yeah. Then no more of
Yeah,
this.
while
Oh,
making
we're
minimum
making
wage.
200
Mhm.
grand a year, free medical and dental at the, TRICARE Plus, TRICARE Premium, whatever it is that
Yeah.
they're using. That it covers all their family, and that's for life, just because they got elected once. Like you're a House member, and you get your 2 years, you get your health care, you get your pension, you get a pension for being in the House for
Yeah.
2 years, and to me
Is it
that's
2
just
years? I
fucking.
thought it was 2 terms.
I thought okay, I could be wrong, but even if it's 2 terms, it's only 4 years.
Either way, 2 terms still only a
You're
couple of
you're
years.
still making
That's
100 grand a year, even if you get booted. unless you do
And
something that
that's before all your brilliant trading.
right. Yeah. Insider trading. We are so fucked when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to me that they're making the kind of money that they are. They're getting the kind of healthcare that they are. They're getting the travel perks, the everything
Hmm.
that they get, and then they're like, "Now the American people don't need something like this. They don't. They don't.
Yeah.
They need. We just need to give them the money. Like that's Trump's plan. Give them the money. What money are you going to give the people, and how are you going
Yeah.
to ensure that it's for medical bills?
The
I'm just
vast
curious as the
majority
gap in
of
that part.
yeah, if you handed money back to people and told them this is to pay your medical bills and you're not going to get any help otherwise, this is what goes to your medical bills, that money is going to go to rent.
Yeah,
That money is going to go to the power company. It's not going to a doctor. No,
because
that's not how that works when you don't have any fucking money. It's just not.
yeah, and but no, that's the Trump had concepts of the plan
Yep.
years ago. It seems like we've been. I mean, he didn't have a plan.
Well,
He didn't have a plan in his first term.
he had concepts of a plan during the debate, but after he was after he was inaugurated the second time, he set real plans to be developed in 2 weeks.
Right. That
That's
2 week.
that's when he would come up with plans. It's 2 weeks
Right.
out.
2 weeks.
I
Everything's 2
believe
weeks.
I believe the Obamacare replacement was 2 weeks out in like what 10 years ago at this point.
It's at least that.
Mm.
But the Iran war was only supposed to be 2 weeks too. So
Well, yeah,
we're only
yeah.
what 2 months into that. Something like that.
Well, it no, because they've got a timeout going on. The
Oh,
ceasefire's
that's right.
timeout
The
that doesn't
ceasefire.
count towards the
The
60
ceasefire.
days. It's not.
Right.
It's reverses. That's not how. Yeah, no.
So
So they actually don't have to go to Congress for any funding or any approval or anything.
perfect. That makes total sense, and I'm sure Mike.
Yeah, as
Johnson
long as you don't
is-
think about it, it makes great sense.
Of course, and I'm sure Mike Johnson was totally fine to just turn off his
Yep.
brain for that because he's just a piece of shit.
Mike Johnson's got a lot of other problems to worry about.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for one to call the vote. It only takes one person to speak up in the House now to remove a speaker.
Yeah. Well,
and
apparently they've all decided just not to remove the speaker the way that they did previously. But at this point, they've got like what a 1 vote lead. They've got like a 1 vote majority. And oh, by the way, there's 2 people trying to kick out each other in the House, and one of them actually does need to be kicked out. Like that's a fair case for kicking his ass to the curb. I don't know. Mike Johnson's got a lot of other problems on his plate. I would not be surprised if he actually hadn't heard about the emergency dental appointment.
I mean, I think that's a good point. He's definitely not. He's at this point, he knows he's not borrowed time too.
Yeah.
And the minute I think that once again, the dominoes that are going to fall when Trump finally does either die or is removed in some way, the dominoes are going to fall. We have no idea what's going to land face up, face down at this point. The country's going to be tits up. I can tell you that.
Yep.
JD Vance isn't ready to step into those shoes. He's not ready to fuck that couch yet.
No, he's not.
He's not ready to play with the big boys because every time we send him anywhere to do anything, he fucks it up some way.
Yeah, that's because he's not qualified to be doing what he's doing.
Oh, is that why they're not?
That's
Qualifications don't mean anything. This is
it turns out that everybody was put in their spot as the Bizarro World version of who should actually be in that spot. Like, I'm honestly surprised they don't all have goatees because they're all the evil version of who should actually be the secretary of whatever.
Imagine if one day everyone just started. Caroline Levitt comes in with a goatee.
Yes,
it would make them. It would. That, in all honesty, though, that would make the most sense out of anything that could happen. If one day we did see that, it's like, oh, we're in Bizarro World. Okay, but at least we would know.
At least it would make sense.
At this point, we're still just guessing every time something crazy happens,
right.
whether it's real or not. If we saw somebody, if Marco Rubio came out with his big fucking ears and a goatee, all right, something crazy is about to happen, and I can prepare myself that it's going to be crazy. Every day is just shit's crazy, and
Yeah.
you're just going along with it.
Yep.
The roller coaster's got to stop at some point because I didn't buy a ticket for this long. Um, at this point.
Well, as George Carlin famously said, when you're born, you're given a ticket. And when you're born in America, you're given a front row seat.
I don't want to be on a front row seat anymore. This isn't fun. This isn't entertaining.
Nope. With that, I think we should probably sign off. I think we're at a good point here. What time is it? 4:12. Let me stop the recording.